この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo, and I am here for the finale of Mawaru Penguindrum. I'm also looking at this shirt and realizing that it does that shimmery thing that I hate, so I need to change my shirt. Back in a second. Alright, that's a bit better. Sorry about that. Let's talk about episodes 21 and 22, which we watched last week. Episode 21 was in large part, I think, about choices and a bit of a feeling of helplessness from a lot of characters. We were introduced to a journalist who appears to us as faceless, just as Shoma's friend from school does. And I realized in thinking about this a little bit more that his face is essentially the watch face that we see that he always has with him, and he is essentially a ticking time bomb for the story. People are finding out about all of the secrets hidden in all of these characters' closets, except Himari. She's kind of a wonderful goober, and I really don't want anything bad to happen to her. But he goes and he talks to a whole bunch of people and causes a whole bunch of conflict. The journalist informs Shoma of what Kamba has been doing, and given Shoma's whole, like, oh Jesus, I'm weighed down by the sins of my parents, the fact that Kamba is very literally doubling down on all the sins of his parents and just restarting the thing that they did before, doesn't go over so well with him. So they fight, and Shoma loses, and Kamba continues on his merry way to do whatever the fuck Sanetoshi wants him to do. In the meantime, Himari finds the ruins of the establishment that we have seen in brilliant color and well lit and with all kinds of things going on in it. And also there are corpses of their parents there, which we see a little bit later when Yuri and Tabuki get there. These two episodes are really confusing, and there's a whole lot going on, and a lot of it functions on a more symbolic level and doesn't function on a real-world level, and some of it functions on a real-world level and doesn't function on a symbolic level. It's a little bit confused. It's a little bit frayed, and I'm looking forward to seeing how these next couple of episodes handle what's going on in this story right now and how we wrap this up, because I cannot imagine how we're going to do it, but I'm sure that Ikuhara can. In any case, Tabuki and Yuri are attacked in the place where they find the skeletons and stuff, and we discover fully that the Takakura family is dead, and the only thing that exists of them is sort of an echo, a memory, a continuation of their sins in the lives of their children who aren't their children, which is Jesus. Kamba murders the journalist, super murders him, and if we view the journalist as the impending ticking time bomb of fate heading towards them, this does not stop time or fate from progressing. Things continue to get worse, and will continue to get worse through the next episode, and hopefully will start getting better in the next two episodes that we actually watch. We'll see. At which point Shoma tries to send Himari away and says a really brutal line about we're done playing house, sort of confirming her fears that, like, oh, any day is the day that Shoma and Kamba will leave me, and it's today. Today's the day. Sorry, Himari. Okay, that moves us into episode 22, which starts off on a really wonderfully light tone as Double H go ahead and visit Ringo and try to deliver their brand new CD to Himari, which is like the cutest and coolest thing ever. And there are also some really great scenes in that moment. Meanwhile, Sanetoshi continues to push Kamba further and further over the edge, telling him that the medicine that he's been giving him doesn't have any effect anymore, and that he will, through mysterious means, and I don't believe him at all, will actually heal Himari once Kamba finishes doing whatever Sanetoshi wants him to do, which is reinvigorate this cult and destroy the world or something. It's bad. Himari then goes to the aquarium in sort of a dream sequence that I can't tell whether it's functioning on a symbolic or a literal level. She goes to the aquarium and prays to God to sacrifice herself for Kamba so that he can be saved, and does. And it just happens, and she just falls down dead. And I have no idea, because we'd never readdress that story thread or see Himari again in the episode, so I have no idea what the fuck happened there, or whether it worked, or whether doing that can actually cause any meaningful change in this world. I don't know. I mean, self-sacrifice as an element of this story is huge, and I would say, in fact, that episode 22 is all about self-sacrifice. We get Himari sacrificing herself for Kamba. We get later Masako sacrificing herself for Kamba, and we get Tabuki sacrificing himself to get stabbed for Yuri. It's a lot. Yuri returns the diary to Ringo, and we discover who attacked her. It was a sin of her own that came back to bite her, you could say. Just a spurned lover, I guess. Returns the diary to Ringo, so now we've got that part of the diary, which is nice. I don't know what Masako's half of the diary is all about at this point. Masako reveals her whole siblinghood, and in all of like 5 minutes reveals a kind of retcon of her whole plot with Kamba. Oh yeah, we're siblings, and also Mario's my sibling, but like why? Well, all right. And then Kamba tries to like step in front of some bullets and gets unconscious, and not in a good way, gets carried off by his comrades. Masako has a big damn hero's moment and then dies off screen, presumably, as she is shot by what sounds like machine gun fire. And that's where we left off. Yeah, normal show. Just a normal day in an Ikuhara show. That sounds about right. I have no idea what the fuck's gonna happen. I honestly can't even say that I have every idea of what has already happened. Things are getting fluid and kind of moldable and mutable and weird. We'll see how these next couple episodes handle the events of the ending and how we choose to end this story. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully it can wrap all this together in an interesting way. At this point, I still have full faith in Ikuhara that he's got a plan for this whole dealio, but we will have to just wait and see. So let's do that. Let's watch episodes 23 and 24 and finish up Penguindrum. We're in a weird place. Kamba just got semi-dead. Everybody's gotten stabbed or dead or sacrificed themselves for various reasons. Sanetoshi's plan seems to be going full stop, going great. Kamba is flinging penguin bowling balls at cars and exploding them via phone app. I don't know how that works, but it works. Things are bad, and that's interesting. We'll see how it changes, or doesn't, or if we just double down on despair and get awful, which is the kind of thing we might do. All right. Let's watch episode 23 of Mawaru Penguindrum and see what we think. I've got the episode up and ready to go. It's 0 seconds. We're starting with a flashback, it seems. It's 0 seconds. There will be 2 versions of this reaction as usual. You can find a picture-in-picture version with the video up there, linked in the description, and a timer-based version up on YouTube. If you want to do a sneaky thing and sync up your own copy of the episode with the timer-based version, you are welcome to do so. Just get your copy ready, because the beep timer will be coming at you immediately after I blow my fucking nose, because I really have to blow my nose, so I'll see you in a moment. Alright, nose blown, beep timer. Morning of the attack. I figured out the identity of people. So I activated at the destination of fate, but then she showed up. This was Sanetoshi's perspective. So it's going to have to do with the girl? With Momoka? She showed up? Okay, so we're seeing these scenes again. But one of those is the Takakura father, right? So they were using those before. And those are the explosives, or similar? Gray, gray, gray. That's nice, buddy. Okay. Very... Okay. Okay, loss of identity through boxing yourself up. Self-declared chosen. I won't let you. That smile is creepy. Hello. Okay. You can do that? Sacrifice yourself to remove Sanetoshi from this timeline? What? Okay. Okay. The spell will only be half cast. And the both of them are severed. Him into the two bunnies, her into the two entities in the hats? Okay, so the wizards dueled it, both of them lost, and both of them won. Sanatoshi's goals continue to live on. Momoka is able to save some things, but at the sacrifice of herself, which causes a whole bunch of the turmoil and pain in this world that we have now. So there's still a chance to try again for both of their goals and their ends. And the people that they've influenced and affected come around to doing that. The echoes of their purpose and motivation live on, or their shadows. Okay. It also fills in with the half black, half white yin yang penguin symbolism. That's pretty perfect symbolically. Every time they go to rock and roll night, they end up in one of the explosive bears. The black ones. Okay, she's alive. She's alive. And that's the real doctor. Acceptance to an extent. Hmm. Aww. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. And also none at all. You could just write that as the tagline of the entire show. It makes a ton of sense, and also none at all. Thanks, Penguin. It's all about food. There's a ghost in that hat, too. To Momoka. Uh-huh. That's the fruit. Oh, she's alive-ish. Is he gonna alter her fate? He says, smiling. Your twin sister. This is trippy. Beep. That's some creepy, dude. No. Nope. What was in exchange for that, though? At what cost? I don't believe you for a second, Sanetoshi. Fuck. Thank you. Cheap tricks, eh? You need the spell. This is visually awesome. Shit. And the gift from Double H. On the edge of a dream. Yeah. Hands in connection and reaching out again. But you found me. That you're not entirely abandoned. You won't, though. And you will. He's lost. Yeah. Hi, Kamba! Looks like you found me. Shit. Fuck. No? Ah! Alright, face off. Yes. And the world will end. Yup. And you do. I don't really need the penguins in this scene. Ah, fuck. To hug him or to shoot him in the chest? Ah! I'm gonna guess shoot him in the chest. What the fuck? We're heading toward full Greek tragedy, everybody dies territory. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. That's Yuri's half? I finally learned its secret. And then you'll be able to oh, we can do a Greek tragedy ending, and then we can transfer fate. Two halves of the diary, two halves of Sanetoshi, two halves of Momoka. You tried to transfer Momoka's fate onto yourself. Tried so hard. Time is of the essence. Ah! Don't buy it. Don't buy it, Ringo. Is Ringo our fucking hero? I'm kind of down for that. Alright, what's our slogan? That's not gonna have a slogan? Hey! Hi, penguins. Hi, Ringo. With a scarf. Sun-chan. Why is he talking like he's a disembodied voice? No. Ah! It's a trap. It's a trap. Oh, God. No. Clenching. Oh, motherfucker. Huh? Huh? No, 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 no. It's an explosive device. Fuck. Of what? of that. Okay, that makes sense. Uh-huh. And you're about to be. Okay, she's alive. The diary isn't destroyed. Good. Thank you for... Oh, no, it's on fire. No, 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 no! Burning herself. Just like... Hold on through pain to hope. Soundtrack. Like Momoka. What is it, the One Ring? Are you Gandalf? Night on the Destiny Express, eh? And back to the hospital. Back to Himari. What? He shot him with a penguin bullet? And he took Himari. Yeah. Ha! Whose voice is that? Is it Momoka? You too? Okay. Okay. Moving pieces across the board. Two is better than one. It's happening again. Hell yeah. All right. How much more episode do we have? Not much. It's where we first met inside the box. Penguin labeled box. The cage, right? Reach out across the boundary between two boxes and prove Sanetoshi wrong. Okay. Oh. The two bunnies wearing the two hats. Whoa. This was a hell of an episode. This was continuously visually really fascinating, but man, we are mixing and matching our metaphors a lot. Like a lot. The episode strikes me very much as the argument before a counter. The first proposition in a dialectic. And it's mostly from the side of Sanetoshi. He's making very clear his mindset, his mentality, and his goals, which is something that we need to gain satisfaction out of actually obtaining victory in any way. And I because of the way this is set up, I expect that we will obtain some kind of victory in the next episode. Given that he is afraid of Momoka's power, which is the ability to transfer fate or change the destination of fate, that seems like the most likely course of action, is that we will somehow accomplish that. Now, how that's going to happen, given that the diary is gone, I don't know. The thing that immediately pops to mind that might work or might be a little bit disappointing is if we pull a kind of the spell was within us all along, and the spell is to join ourselves together or something. We'll see. We'll see how we play with this. Or we could Deus Ex Machina this shit. Or I'm not as good a writer as Ikuhara, and we'll have a much better idea coming at us soon. I don't know. But I expect that next episode is going to be our response. Because the motivations that Sanetoshi lays out in this episode, and clearly Sanetoshi is very much our designated villain. We know that we're not supposed to be agreeing with or alongside him. And so when we're listening to what he's saying, a lot of what I'm thinking is like, no, fuck off. I'm also aware, given Sarazanmai, of like of Ikuhara's stance on connections between people and the nature of this sort of argument about boxes and inability to connect and reach out to others, is a direct counterpoint to what I believe Ikuhara's own ideology is. So I have to imagine that in his show he will address it and respond to it. And I expect that that's going to be next episode, and that we'll get some kind of a heroic moment of Shoma. For Shoma, I think. I assume. I guess. I don't know. Kamba has completed his two core face heel turn as he's moved darker and darker and been pushed further and further by Sanetoshi and by circumstance. And we know now that it was always Sanetoshi pulling the strings, but by feeling like he had to do these things to save his family, to save Himari. Ringo's whole section in this episode might be the most interesting to me, because it's really well done. Actually, that's a good point to start. This whole episode is really well done and visually fucking gorgeous in many, many ways. The use of color alone is stellar. The desaturated world in which Sanetoshi exists, bright and brilliant. The movement of the two of them into the pink and red hues of the weird train world, the demonstration of, I suppose, what happens to them when these two forces of desired fate, I suppose, collide, and neither of them win and neither of them lose. They leave the world open to choose on its own, with only echoes of their actions passed down along with them. This whole moment where they just embrace, and there's nothing like romantic or sexual about it. It's just taking comfort in being connected is gorgeous. The Shoma sitting and holding Himari's hand contrasted with them standing ethereally and not reaching out to Masako. In fact, not really even caring about Masako, just using her as a means to an end to demonstrate to Kamba that Sanetoshi is capable of saving a life somehow at some cost. I wonder what happened to Mario. Just a little bit mildly concerned there. Also, just these moments are freaking gorgeous. The hair and stuff is amazing. It's just, look at that. And I love these weird psychedelic patterns that eventually become one with Sanetoshi's shadow. He takes the other half of the diary, the stark red highlights around all the people, and this whole sequence with the snow drifting in. And then the whole sequence of them going and finding her is heartbreaking, and it's saying in pretty much no uncertain terms that they are going to be separated, and that Himari is gone from this world at this point. She is on her way out. I don't know if she will be saved. And I think that might be how we bittersweet this. But I don't know. I just don't know. The color palette changes so dramatically over the course of this episode so many times. It's kind of wonderful. And Yuri gives her the diary. It was for you the whole time. And she finds herself alone in their bright and cluttered and wonderful house that we've come to know. Until we get here. And Kamba speaks from the world almost. Through the images we get. But it's the moment where she clutches at the burned diary, despite herself, despite her pain, in the face of Sanetoshi, where she embodies Momoka, holding on to what is there and the only chance that she has. Sanetoshi comments on it. You'll sacrifice yourself, you'll protect the diary even if it destroys your own body? And her answer is absolutely yes. And he taunts her. If you cast the spell, the cursed fire would have burned away your entire body. I suppose that's what happened to Momoka. So the diary is burned, that chance is gone. Shoma awakens, the hat begins to speak. Whoa. I'm gonna go look up who episode directed this because it was deftly done. Whole lot of really emotional content in this episode, and I want to find out who's responsible for it, so I'll see you in a moment. Okay, so the episode was storyboarded by Ikuhara himself and was directed by Aizawa Masahiro, who was a animation director and key animator on Utena and the Utena film, as well as many key animation and animation director roles on all kinds of other things. Nothing that gives me a direct indication of his style that I could use to then interpret this episode, but that's okay. Still some useful information, and of course the fact that this episode was storyboarded by 14 of the episodes are storyboarded by Ikuhara, so it's not saying that much, but it's still saying something. Jesus. Okay, we can go through and unpack this more than just skimming over the scenes a little bit. This whole sequence is kind of reminiscent of the dance for Mutena on top of the like flowers in the water. It's really interesting that we enter this starry world for this purpose. It's really cool. Okay, let's go through again. I want to highlight the contrast between the way that Shoma interacts with Himari and the way that Kamba interacts with Masako. The family connections here are so different and so dramatically different. Like Masako at this point in the story, I thought she was just dead off screen and gone. But we bring her back for this sequence in order to serve as an example of Sanetoshi's power, who brings her back to life, but I have a feeling we're never going to see her again. I don't know what her purpose is in the story at this moment, but Kamba sees this and it all it does is align with his goals. Oh, Sanetoshi has proven to me that he can provide me the thing that I desperately need. Therefore, this is fine. And he walks away from her despite her pleas that he stop and does not get on that train. Everything she has in her waking moments after being literally dead, she is trying to prevent Kamba from going down this path of destruction, this path of viewing everything as boxes or curses or horrors and viewing the world as unsavable. That seems to be the true distinction between these two ideologies, which is then, of course, it's underlined by the split here between the both of them. Like, they both are split, and their ideologies live on through the people that they've influenced or through their diaries. But Sanetoshi comes back as a ghost, as Momoka kind of comes back as ghosts in the story, as elements of the past that haunt us or continue to affect our actions moving forward. You could say that Momoka is also a ghost in the metaphorical context, though Sanetoshi seems to be more literal about it. But they're in direct opposition. One believes that the world can be saved by changing little things, by altering fate, by helping people. The other believes that that a better world can be achieved by destroying this one. And that's the core conflict here. One is like one is a motivational poster and the other one's an incel. Sorry. I don't know, man. One is depression and the other one is working through it. It's direct conflict, and it's pretty damn good and pretty well put together here. Sanetoshi's whole fourth wall breaking monologue in the beginning lays out his ideology. Momoka lays out hers. She takes none of his shit. And his only real statement after that is that you won't save anything. I'll curse you instead. And I'll curse us both. It's all curses all the way down for Sanetoshi, all horror. Then we have this moment of the embrace, which I already talked about, but it is a wonderful moment. Direct contrast between these two sequences of family, and Himari brings him to this place, this memory, this place where she learned that family and love isn't necessarily, that her cuteness might not be consumed, that it doesn't quite work that way. That she is a child who would be found, which is reminiscent of being chosen, but different. And then entreats him to go and find Kanba instead, but Kanba comes and finds him. Dramatically. I will say that in this scene in particular, the penguins in the background, I don't care for. We've got Shoma's penguin like attempting to throw lollipops at Kamba's penguin. It kind of detracts from a really severe and serious scene, and I guess that's maybe the intent, but I don't know if it works for me in this sequence. It's a little whack. I don't really understand why Kamba said this. I've always wanted to do this to you. Is that some sort of statement about the nature of familial relationships or sibling rivalries? I don't really know. I just don't know. We see Ringo alone in the house. preparing, attempting to support Shoma through a really difficult event where their mutual friend is dying and there's nothing they can do to stop it. I got it. I got the diary, but I don't know what to do with it. And so we enter the Sanchan-i International Aquarium, a name that I didn't notice. Then we start going Dutch. We start being really weird with these close-ups of things in the environment. And then the looming, glowing-eyed bear will go together tomorrow to a new world. Himari will be saved. But not by transferring fate, by doing something else. Fucking Sanatoshi. Ugh. And then the horror. And then the pain. And then the self-sacrifice. And then the loss. And then a mirror of what Kamba has done twice before, at least. In a mirror of what he has done before when he ran after Himari. As a child, he runs with the hat to try to stop Kamba in time. To prevent him from becoming something. We echo the first scenes of the penguin chasing him. We echo the sequence where we restricted the entire field of view to just the top, and Kamba walked by, but this time it's a crossroads. As though indicating choice. Then there's this gorgeous landscape, which is freaking awesome. We start the OP, but it doesn't stop. We have the little bunnies pushing figurines all over the place. And the lyrics of this whole outro sequence is crazy. And we're left with what might be the final slogan. I assume there will be one more. 2 is better than 1. Getting along is beautiful. You can't tear down the wall and bond. And we're going to, I think, prove that wrong. Because we see them divided in their boxes. Trapped, alone. But they are together. No, who are you? Okay. On to the next one. I'm going to take a break, do a sync thing, be back in a moment. See you in a minute. Peace. Alright, here we go. Penguindrum finale, episode 24. Beep beep timer. Didn't have time left. Hunger and thirst struck. So this is after they've already had that first conversation. Curry, eh? Might not wake up. Jesus. Okay, not desaturated this time. Still on a 23 slogan. Hello. There's the darkness. Okay. No OP. To bed? Okay. Dead and gone. True. I don't know, man. Back to the boxes? Okay. What kind? Okay. Yeah, I wonder who to. You can be there. I'm so tense, man. Hi, Ringo. Okay. Uh, uh. By the world. No, send it yourself. What's happening? What's happening? On to the final stop. It's a long way. I don't know where that came from. Shattered glass. A frozen world? But walking up all these small cuts. Yourself. And she embraces him. and made the bed for her. Hmm. They shared the apple. Ripping out the scorpion's heart. Across the gap. What is happening? And she's burning. As she clutched the diary. Piss off, ghost! We're sharing it together. He took it upon himself. Black or white. Fuck. The curtains close. 2 different tracks. Bye-bye. They've all turned white. They've all been disabled. Ringo's alive. Himari's alive. Left behind in this world. So they were left behind. Masako and Kamba? Mario. What do you mean? Are we Madoka-ing it? A blank canvas. Unpainted. Living happily with a family. A friend of mine? Only Himari. Ringo? Met at the hospital. Sharing the curry recipe. Yeah. A different family. A family that never left her. That never abandoned her. It's that one. And the cut is there. Penguins? The penguin had it when she got in the box. A note? Taken across world lines. Why am I crying? Esmeralda? And the ring stops spinning. That was overwhelming. I'm sorry I didn't say anything during the entire episode. That was start to finish awesome. Visually stunning, amazing soundtrack. And it feels like all of the threads whip together into something that makes sense. But I'm not sure how it makes sense or on what level. It's still as fuzzy and hazy as expected, but somehow that doesn't detract from its meaning? I don't know if I understand how it. Why does it. Why am I on the edge of tears? I know it's because I saw something beautiful. I need some time. I'll see you in a minute. All right. I've spent some time thinking about the episode. I haven't gone back through it at all. But I've come up with what I think is something close to a thesis statement, at least of these last few episodes. Our world, the world of Penguindrum, is a cruel world of isolated boxes. But we can rebel against that fate by sharing the bounties it provides us and pain that it provides us with others. By reaching out beyond the boundary of these boxes and thus intertwining our fates with someone else. And by connecting, we gain Everything. In the same way that Shoma exhibited the ability to choose when faced with the young Himari, and chose to bring her into his life, and in that moment intertwined her fate with his own, with all the positives and negatives that would come to bring. Kanba, in the strange, disconnected, metaphorical world of these two cages, apart from each other, which, let's admit it, is a little bit, it's not a Deus Ex. It's something that we've never seen before that's introduced as a critical plot point in this final episode, and I don't think that the rest of the episode functions without it. We need that moment. But at the same time, we've done things like that before, like the moment of Shoma holding out the fruit of fate to Himari in the metaphorical child broiler, which was then later expanded upon to show us the actual in real world circumstances around his choosing her and them becoming fated people. To use the word soulmate in that context is probably not right. But those scenes are so necessary to tie this episode together. And so I can forgive that they don't exist outside of this episode because they make the story fucking work. And it does. There are two phrases. Let us share the fruit of fate, and I love you. And I love you is the one that titles the episode. The crucial one. It is the blueprint. How do you share the fruit of fate with someone else? You give your love to them. And it doesn't have to be transactional, not the way that Sanetoshi views everything, with curses and prices and ghosts and lots of curses. It doesn't have to be transactional. It can be partial. A sharing of half of the apple. A sharing of half of the pain. Kanba gives his bounty to Shoma, and thus they are both saved. And neither one of them has to fulfill the promise that they make to deliver a message, to live on in to allow the other to live vicariously through them. Neither of them has to do that. They both, presumably, metaphorically, escape from their cages by connecting with one another, by intertwining their lives together. And it's Kanba who makes that first move. Shoma makes a similar move by taking the punishment that Ringo brought upon herself by transferring fate, by uttering the spell. He takes that upon himself. So Shoma and Kanba are removed from this world, but given another chance to live again. Himari is given a family, Ringo is given a friend. Fate is transferred. And Sanetoshi, caught in his own mindset, his own ideology, his own insistence that fate cannot be escaped, that it is natural within this dog-eat-dog ecosystem of selfish individuals that people will be left behind and abandoned and forgotten. But he is the only one left behind. Himari rises from the dead. In her deathbed, her Mika-chan house, dollhouse bed that was constructed for her by them out of love, rises from the dead to initiate a survival strategy herself. Not the princess in the crystal, not Momoka, Himari herself. And we're treated to a visual fucking masterpiece, storytelling-wise, of an enormous staircase, much longer than we've seen before, a greater distance, perhaps created by Kamba's own actions, between her, between Shoma, between Kamba, that separates them. And the staircase is not just a staircase. It's also inundated and surrounded by shards of frozen glass that must be walked through, that cannot be avoided, that cut and tear at her dress and at Shoma's clothes. And they don't flinch. They just keep walking forward through the pain that reaching out requires of them in order to get there, in order to share their fate with him, and to bring him back. The heart, the soul, that is the Penguindrum. To break it in half and give it to someone else is to intertwine your fate with them, with theirs. That is the fruit of fate, and that is the sharing of it. And it's painful to get to, even get to a place where you can try. I might be misremembering, but I think Shoma reaches into his own chest, rips out his own heart to give it to him. Wow. Okay, let's go through the episode. Okay, we start in the boxes. Don't fall asleep. No OP. The Black Bears. The Face Off. And then the sudden jump into metaphor. Sort of. She's right here. The soundtrack swells in this episode, and the whooshing of fabric and cloth is just fantastic. Scattered. And there she lays, pale and dead. There is only one way. Again, I find the penguins a little bit off-putting in the drama of the episode. I am confused by them, and this isn't a point in the story where I want to be confused. Sanetoshi speaks to us of nature and the inability of anyone to stop this fate. An empty train car. Her heart rate keeps dropping down and down into the further negatives. We get a flashback with no title. Just this. One of us will die. The other should deliver a message. Should do something in the other's stead. To someone precious to me, but the whole reason they're in these boxes is because there's no one precious to them, as far as we know. What will my message be, and who will it be to? And he finds something in the corner of the box. Why, Kanba? And he continues to cling to her hand, as he did in the very first scenes, at the end of episode 1. People need light, and he has finally found his own light. It's as though he's talking about Himari. That is the meaning of his life. But now the world is trying to steal his light. And you're on the wrong side. That looks like Yuri. Only I can save him. What can you give him? Why would he choose you? Make a better offer. Again, it misses the point. It's transactional. It's in trade. What I can give him? And Ringo arrives. Knowing the phrase. Willing to bet everything on it. And is warned that she will burn away. And she stands resolute. A big damn hero. And the apple is found. And Shoma takes this as, you've been chosen, and I haven't. You'll live on, and I'll die. And Kamba rejects that fate by reaching out, by sharing his bounty, as I put it before. And thus they are intertwined. Why is it so beautiful? I don't know. Yes, I'm sorry. And she rises. No heart rate. From death. And initiates a survival strategy her damn self. She falls into this world. There's no fanfare. Just a long, long, long staircase. That shatters into shards of pain, and she walks through them unflinchingly, through life's punishments. Punishments in small doses. But also the heartfelt memories. The simple things. The little things. Why does he get to be the older brother? How can we suddenly become brothers? But we were together. Intertwined. She reaches the top. And he explodes? A little bit confused by that. It works visually. It's really freaking amazing. And she embraces him in his pain. Thank you. Our love and our punishment too. Yeah, Shoma reaches into his own chest, rips his heart from his body to give back what was given to him. You reached out, I reach out. It returns him to childhood. And Himari bears it over to Kanba, announcing that it is the Penguindrum. The scorpion's heart, burned away selflessly to light the night sky. Let's share the fruit of fate. Let's share the fruit of fate. And everything changes. The world rolls over. The track is switched. She burns and he embraces her. Takes the burning upon himself. I don't understand this scene, but I really like it. Kamba picks up Himari. The ring that seems to confine him shatters. And he walks, his body turning into shards of glass. And with his last actions as he's pulled away from this line, he ignores Santoshi, his almost taunting words. You will all simply disappear without leaving anything behind in this world. But they are leaving something behind. They're leaving a better world. That's what they're producing by doing this. You will never be happy, and stone-faced, not acknowledging, not addressing, unflinching, he walks forward and shatters to lay Himari down for the last time and allow her to wake up. Ringo Burns, I love you. The cars unlock as they leave each other's embrace, and he burns away in her stead, taking on the punishment, and in doing so, on the fence, on the edge, walking the tightrope between light and dark, ding! The line of fate is chosen. And we're brought out of this sequence by the curtains closing. There. Theatrics, always and until the end. And Momoko leaves him, alone, in his own little box. All of the bombs deactivated, were never there. And we were left behind. We repeat the lines. We just needed to hear I love you. And in doing so be saved. Then we touch base. Masako and her family are freed from their terror. Himari lives alone with a family who loves her, visits monkeys instead of penguins, eats apple curry rice, has a bit of a found family, and finds only remnants of something she doesn't understand, but that has shaped this life that she lives. And then the two boys we saw in the very first episode walk by talking about Night on the Galactic Railroad, but they're two different boys. Given another chance, still in this world, themselves or not themselves, who knows? And it all ends with arigato, with thank you. It's a pretty excellent final episode. I feel pretty darn satisfied by it. I have complaints, but I don't think they matter very much. Because this has emotional weight and impact and meaning in the weird way that Ikuhara shows do. I know after what I've experienced in the months after watching Utena that it will, to some extent, be incorporated into my mentality. His shows have a way of getting under your skin and into the back of your mind, where you wake up every few weeks or so with an idea about the way the show progressed or the ideas presented in it. I didn't know what to expect going into Penguindrum, but I couldn't have expected this. This is a really good show. Sprawling and vague and nebulous and strange. Funny and goofy and terrifying and wholesome and heartfelt. Addressing the darknesses of human nature and answering them with the light that we can shed upon each other. Connect, share, interact, reach out. Alter someone's fate. We live in a cruel world of isolated boxes, but we can rebel against that fate by sharing the bounties and the pains of life with others. Simple and yet so weird and complicated. Well done. Well done. Okay, this ends our Penguindrum watching experience. I look forward to hearing other people's interpretations of this show and its ending, the themes and elements of it. Because there's a lot here. There's a lot. But for now, we'll wrap here. I've been Teeaboo. This has been Mawaru Penguindrum. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. I hope you'll leave your thoughts in the comments. And I hope to see you next week or so to watch something different. I love you. Peace.